Hey, sisters. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Today's podcast episode is a little fun. I'm not going to lie. And I say fun, but y'all know me when I get in that mode where I'm like, yeah, let's shit on them. Like, this is one of those podcast episodes. So perhaps if you are not in the mood to shit on that loser today, this is not the episode for you to listen to. But sister, if you in that zone where you like, you know what, I'm finna, he don't even know what's coming for him. Definitely take a seat and, let's get into it. So the theme of today's podcast episode, and it's so crazy because I literally got this as a download, but you have to crush his ego is pretty much what came to mind. And I was like, damn, like, is that what I'm supposed to talk about today? It's coming off a little strong, but I feel so called to speak on this. And I always say this to you, sisters. There's somebody out there that's in this right now, and they're questioning, what steps they should take or how they should move. And so I feel like I'm going to be talking to a very specific, collective of my sisters. And, I'm thankful for all of you. But I'm like, sis, it's somebody out there that's in the thick of it right now. Okay. And I can feel it in my energy. I always pick up on you guys' energy. It's so crazy. And I tell you guys this, like, the messages that come to me, I'm not even living this right now. And it's like, it's so clear, like, okay, I got to go talk about this. So let's talk about it, I guess. Y'all know me. I can yap forever and ever about the downloads, how they come to me, how I get inspired, to make these podcast episodes. But that's not important today, okay? What's important is talking about how you are going to crush that loser's ego. Okay. And I know a lot of my sisters, y'all be a little scared to do them how they do you. And I won't even say that this podcast episode is focused on that. When I say crush his ego, I am telling you, you need to do it indirectly. You don't even have to lift a finger. You don't have to touch him. You don't have to crash out. This is not like a specific reaction. So I don't want to get it confused. Like, we're not going to physically crush this man, okay? I just want to clarify that because some of my sisters, y'all be ready to physically crush that man's ego. But when I say crush his ego, I'm talking about the steps that you are going to take, as far as moving out of his way, completely removing yourself out of his life and disappearing and making him feel your absence indefinitely. Okay. And that's what I live for. I've never really been really big on crashing out because I know that my impact is a lot greater once I exit the scene in general. So maybe you need to consider that, sister, because some of y'all, Lord have mercy, the things y'all be doing, I'm like, sis, the impact is going to be greater the quieter it is. If you just leave and you disappear out of his life and you don't even say nothing, that's going to kill him inside. Okay? You doing all this craziness is going to furthermore confirm that you're crazy, you were the problem, or whatever else. And that's confirmation. I don't know if you guys hear that train, but literally confirmation. So let's go ahead and get into the details of today's podcast episode. I'm super excited to speak on this topic because I feel like I'm a pro at this shit. And it's like, I love just putting my sisters on and teaching you guys how to go about, just ways to strategically mind fuck that person and destroy them in the ways that they called themselves destroying you. Okay. No remorse over here. I'm so sorry. So how would I advise you to crush his ego or crush this loser's ego? You have to start by removing yourself completely. And when I say remove yourself, I'm saying remove yourself without question. Okay? Don't even ask no questions. You don't need to know the details. You don't need to know why he did the things that he did, why he's repeating the same, bad behaviors that you've asked him to fix several times. You don't need to know about all of the other women. You don't need physical evidence. You can just remove yourself without any questions. And then guess what that's going to do to him? It's going to leave him questioning shit. Okay, so do you see how completely removing yourself and not even saying nothing reverses the roles? Now he going to be in his head questioning, how could she just leave without asking any questions? How could she just leave? She didn't even have any evidence against me and she just left. She completely removed herself from my life. And It's like she didn't even give me the time of day to explain myself. She didn't even care to find answers or seek evidence. She just left. And that is going to literally crush his ego, sisters, because most men are looking for you to give them the reaction that you've been giving them in the past. If you think about it, sister, so many times in the past, especially in that relationship, you gave them the reaction that they were seeking out of you. And this can look like a lot of different things. Like I said, some of my sisters, y'all were going through phones. Some of y'all were reaching out, contacting the other women, trying to piece together everything and figure out how many other girls there were and when he was talking to them, when they weren't talking, all of this crazy shit. Some of my sisters, y'all literally sitting in front of the loser, having him plead his case. I wouldn't even do that. Okay? I don't even give losers the time of day. If you make me feel like I'm in the wrong environment, I'm going to remove myself and I'm not going to ask any questions. I could care less what you have to say to me after you've done what you've already done. Okay? It don't got nothing to do with me at this point. So if you want to destroy his ego and really put him in the same position that he wanted you in, just disappear. Remove yourself and be like, you know what? I don't even need answers. Right? The answers are the disrespect. The answers are everything that he did to me while I was in that relationship with him, constantly having me in the state of chaos and confusion and going back and forth and trying to figure out, like, does this man love me or does he hate me? Is he telling the truth? Is he lying today? Is he actually who he claims to be? Or is he wearing a mask and keeping me stuck just so I can, serve him forever? And so this is why I think it's so crucial that you just be like, you know what? I don't need any answers. I don't even have to ask him any questions. He has shown me through his actions, through his body language, that he's a loser. So instead of me trying to sit here and put all the puzzle pieces together and figure out why he's a loser, I'm just going to remove myself. Simple. Okay, and I'm telling you, you're going to have him in his head more than you ever were in your head. And to me, that is so beautiful because these losers intentionally fucked over my sisters, okay? And me. Shit, I'm included in this collective. These losers went out of their way to have us trapped in our heads, fighting battles, being in a mental prison. And it's like when you put his ass in that same mental prison that he thought he was going to keep you trapped in for life, it's no fun anymore, right? Now he wants to talk. Now he wants to plead his case and explain why everything is this and this. You can keep it, okay? Go tell the next bitch. You don't even got to plead your case over here. I don't even care. And this is the craziest part, sisters. A lot of times they try to spin the block on you. They're going to try to come back and explain to you, oh, well, you didn't know and you didn't see the truth here. And, oh, this was this. And they will continue to lie. They will continue to deceive you and manipulate you when you already know intuitively this man is full of shit. Okay, so when you remove yourself without any questions, this is where you are freeing yourself. Like the freedom starts there because you are no longer chasing answers. You're not seeking validation from somebody that you already know is untrustworthy and possesses loser characteristics. You're not. You're like, you know what? I have all of the evidence that I need. Okay. And then on top of that, you're being strategic. You like, you know what? You want to play with my head? You want to play in my face? Bet it's my turn. And they never like it when it's our turn, sisters. Okay. I'm telling you, that man gonna be all up in his head. He gonna be sitting there questioning like, how could she just walk away? Why didn't she even ask me any questions? Why didn't she ask for clarification? Why did she just disappear on my ass and leave me in the dust? But it's like, no. You had several opportunities to fix the behaviors that I was asking you to work on, okay? And do you know how you look as a woman asking a grown man to fix behaviors? You're not his fucking mom. Okay, so that's where we went wrong in the first place. But now we are finally in the position where we like, you know what? I like this game. I want to play too. But they don't like it when you start playing the games that they're playing. Now they want to talk, right? Now they want to have a heart to heart. Now they want closure. Fuck that. He gets nothing from you because when you were in those same shoes, it was funny to him. It was all a game. But now that you're playing the same game, look who doesn't want to play anymore. So on top of removing yourself, you need to do it in silence. You gonna leave that man in silence, okay? And for my sisters who already crashed out or, you already did your big bang, it is okay, okay? Do not be coming here in the chat and be like, Lay, but what do I do if I crashed out? It is what it is, okay? We charge it to the game. We gonna leave it where it was. But from now on, silence, okay? Silence is the silent killer. And I'm not talking literally, like I don't want you going out here killing these losers, but I'm saying kill him with silence, figuratively. I hope I said that right. Figuratively, kill him with silence. When you leave in silence, that is what puts him in the upside down position, right? Because he's so used to you crashing out. He's so used to you having all of these insane reactions. But when you step back and you say, you know what? I'm going to let you have it. That's what you want, or that's how you're going to continue to move when it comes to me. I'm going to let you have everything that you desire. That's when he's like, oh, no, I don't want that no more. I want to talk now. I want to, have a conversation about what went wrong. So I wouldn't even give him the time of day. Once you leave him, leave in silence. Don't even sit there and have a conversation with the loser because he knew what he was doing when he was doing it. Simple. Okay. And I know this is hard. Like you're going to be in your head because there are so many questions that are left unanswered. And I genuinely believe that a lot of my sisters love these losers. So it's hard leaving in silence on your end too. But I would rather you completely remove yourself in silence than to continuously seek answers from somebody who's played in your face over and over again. He's never going to tell the truth to you, right? He's never going to be honest and transparent. Even if you seek those answers from him, he continues to lie, or he's going to continue to gaslight and manipulate you into thinking that you're the problem or you're the crazy one. And so many of my sisters, you've been there. I've been there. And I'm sitting here talking to a motherfucker and they have completely reversed the roles. It's like they gaslighted me into believing that I was the problem. And I'm like, hold on. I'm the problem. You're blaming me for the way that I reacted to the way that you treated me in the first place. We're not going to address what you did initially that led to me reacting the way that I did. But we're going to discuss my reaction. And so you're going to find yourself in this never ending loop of you being ridiculed for the behaviors and the actions that you took when they were caused by the loser in the first place. Okay, so this is where I want you to just completely detach and be like, you know what? Fuck it. You got it. Like, I'm not even going to sit here and go back and forth with you and put myself in a position where I'm questioning my own actions when you're the one who caused those actions, right? Every action has a reaction, and he want to ridicule you because of your reaction, but he's not addressing the action that led to the reaction in the first place. And it's like having to tell a grown man that is just so insane to me. It's like you wasting your breath. You are literally talking to a brick wall. This man doesn't even have the emotional intelligence to understand that his actions led to your reaction in the first place. And then he want to turn things on you. Now you the crazy one, right? Now you're the one that's overreacting. Now you the one who did too much. But it's like when you was doing it or whenever you were making those decisions, you never even judged yourself for that. And somebody who lacks accountability in that sense is like, I'm not even finna sit here and go back and forth with you. They be psychotic, sisters. Okay. And I know it sounds like an exaggeration, but that is a mental illness to pin something on somebody else when you know that you were the root cause of the problem in the first place. You're dealing with mental patients. Let his ass go. Leave him in silence and be like, you got it, buddy. I don't even care anymore. You want to go tell everybody that I was such a terrible wife or I was such a terrible girlfriend or mother, then so be it. Whoop-de-doo. Do whatever you got to do to sleep at night because they're going to do it. And you're going to be sitting there in your head like, how could he go out here and tell everybody a completely different narrative, but it's to save face? He knows that if all those people knew the truth about what really went down in your relationship, that they would never look at him the same again. And on top of that, he has to drag your name, drag your character to save himself. So that's how you know that man was never for you, right? Because you can go through breakups. I've been through several amicable breakups where me and that person decided to part ways and it didn't involve any drama, any slander, any mess, any of that. Right. And it was because I was dealing with a grown man. I wasn't dealing with a loser boy who the second he got to smear my name, he took advantage of it. So I want you to know the difference. It's okay to go through breakups. That's a part of life. I've gone through breakups where it was like, hey, we just deciding that we are not for each other, or that we're going down two different paths, and we just gonna leave this here. It was great to know each other. You know, we always gonna have love for each other, but we are not compatible romantically, right? And that man didn't have to go out here and tell everybody lies about me or try to destroy my name to save himself. And it's because he was a real man. So do you see the difference, sisters? You were dealing with a loser, and then you wonder why he went out here doing loser things. It's because who he is at his core. He ain't a real man. So you know how we free ourselves? We leave in silence and we remain in silence. I wouldn't even feel the need to defend myself. When people ask me, hey, what happened with so-and-so? Or he's saying you did this, or, you know, he's over here telling everybody that this is what happened and this is why you guys broke up. I wouldn't even feel the need to explain myself. I would tell those people, if you know me and you know my character, then you would know that that is something that I would never do. Right. But these people, you know, that are external to your relationship with the loser, they really be starting to believe the shit that come out of his mouth. And I be hearing some of the stuff that be coming out of these losers' mouths. And I'm like, yo, you got to be so fucking for real. Like, you would really say that about my sister? Like, you would really be out here dragging her name through the mud like that? Like, you didn't drag her through the mud in the relationship? But it's like they're all about their own self-image. They're all about protecting themselves. So it's like, you know what? I got something for that ass. I'm going to crush your ego in silence. I'm going to just leave. I'm not going to feel the need to defend myself, to tell my narrative, to tell my story. I'm going to let time tell everything. And that's the craziest part, sisters. Time reveals all. You don't even have to represent yourself. You don't got to go out here and tell people what happened or explain yourself or what they did to you. You ain't got to do nothing. Time is going to reveal all. And eventually, those same people who sat there and were listening to everything that he was saying about you and the things that he made up in his own Delulu head, they are going to start to realize like, oh, wow. This loser is the problem. This man is the problem. And he out here just telling all kinds of different stories to protect his own image. So you know what I would do, sister? I would pay him dust. He couldn't get the time of day from me. I wouldn't give a fuck what he said about me. You know, I would say add some razzle dazzle to it. Like, if you saying that about me, take it to another level. Add a little bit to it, right? You going too light. I need you to tell them that I was a lying, nasty bitch. I need you to tell them that I was sneaky and manipulative. I need you to tell them that I constantly kept you in a state of chaos and that I never did anything around the house and that I didn't help you in the relationship or that I was just such a terrible wife and girlfriend and mother. I need you to add some layers to it. Whatever you telling them about me, I want you to go a little bit harder, right? Because I need you to go as far as possible so I can never have any desire to fuck with you ever again, literally. Okay, so it's almost like he frees you. Like, it's insane. But when they go out here and they run these smear campaigns and they be telling everybody a completely different story, it's like the nail in the coffin for you. You be like, great, I'm really never going to fuck with you again because you had me so fucked up. Okay. And some of my sisters, y'all a little bit nicer. Y'all don't say it like that. But me, oh, I'm going to keep it a band. You will never hear from me again. Everything that you said, you going to have to stand on it for life. And on top of that, I'm going to pay you dust, right? I don't even feel the need to go tell my side of the story. Time is going to tell my story. And it happens like that every single time. So I'm like, sisters, you have to ignore the attacks. Fuck what he got going on. Fuck what he telling other people or, you know, whatever story he's trying to spin out to discredit you or destroy your image. Fuck it. It is what it is. Let him have it, because in due time, everything is going to be brought to the surface, right? People are going to see how your lives are after the breakup or after the separation. They're going to observe the changes in your life and they're going to observe the changes in his life. When his life is still in hell and he's repeating the same cycles and he never finds love again and he's just dragging his own self into the mud, it's going to click for those people who were outside of the relationship in the first place. So don't even feel the need to explain yourself. You get what I'm saying? Because people going to be coming to you and they're going to be asking you, oh, what happened with so-and-so? Or how did this happen? Or why did you guys break up? I wouldn't even speak on it. And a lot of those people, they're coming to you because they just want the tea in the first place. And, if they're in your inner circle, so be it. You can tell them the truth. But if you didn't deal with those people on a regular basis and they're not people that you can trust and confide in, I wouldn't tell them shit. I would just be like, hey, we went our separate ways, or, we are no longer together. I no longer associate myself with XYZ. Okay, you ain't got to explain nothing to nobody. You know the truth, right? God knows the truth. The universe knows the truth. And it's like, why would I be sitting here trying to tell my side of the story when I know what happened? And I know this loser's out here completely flipping the narrative so that it benefits him yet again. The same shit he did to me in the relationship. He flipped the narrative over and over and over again to keep me stuck there. He's doing the same things now that we're no longer together. It shouldn't surprise you. Okay, this is where you just be like, you know what? I'm going to count my blessings and move on. I'm way too blessed to be stressed about what a loser is saying about me behind my back. Clearly, he must miss me because my name is running all through his mouth. Like, come on, you must miss me because why are you still talking about me and I'm not there? So how do you crush his ego in this instance? You don't even feel the need to tell your story. Right? People going to be coming to you and they going to be expecting you to give a counter story. You ain't going to say shit. You going to be like, oh, so be it. And he's going to be waiting for your side of the story to come back so he can defend himself and say, oh, that was lies, or she did this. Sister, you going to move in silence. You going to be like, you know what? You got it. I don't even care to tell my side of the story because I know that in divine timing, everything will come to the surface. Your true colors will be shown to those same people that you tried to smear my name to. Okay. So I feel like, if anything, sisters, you have to rise above the bullshit, okay? And this is where you level up behind the scenes. I wouldn't even tell people what I'm doing behind the scenes. I wouldn't tell them my plans, how I was moving, none of that, because I would be so strategic as to how I was going to level up and shit on that man, especially after he caught himself doing me the way that he did. Okay, so this is where I want you to get strategic. You need to be focused on you. While he's over there trying to tell people one side of the story and save face, this is where you going to be so locked in and leveling up behind the scenes. And you, like I'm telling you, you are going to see the benefits of this. You are going to see in real timing what it looks like to pour into yourself and then reap the benefits of that effort or of those sacrifices, okay? And I know it's not easy because you're still processing and healing. And, every day is its own challenge. And I tell you guys, just put one foot in front of the other. I know some days are harder. Some days are easier. Some days you wake up and you feel just fine. But healing is not a linear journey. You just need to be working on yourself. You should be pouring into your own cup and saying, you know what? I am grateful that that person is no longer in my life. I am happy that I was able to finally free myself from the emotional manipulation, from the emotional abuse. And now look at me. Even though I might be grieving that relationship or I might be processing these emotions, I'm doing so much better because I'm no longer attached to the demon himself. Okay, I've freed myself. I'm overcoming this attachment that I had to somebody that was never for me in the first place. And on top of that, I'm focused on myself. I'm pouring into my goals. I'm back in the gym. I'm eating healthier, right? I'm focused on my career. I'm figuring out ways to level up in my finances or just in any other areas of your life that you are dedicated to improving. Okay, so I don't even want you to be worried about the noise outside. The only noise that you should be focused on is the one that's internal, right? The things that are going on in your intimate life. If it's not directly in your life, in your circle, I wouldn't even give it any time of day. Okay, because that is a distraction at this point. If you still looking back and checking on what they got going on or what they saying about you or who they with or what they're doing now, you are wasting time. And some of my sisters, y'all be having a little curiosity and I'll be having to check y'all because I'm like, sis, why are you even checking on a loser? Why do you care what he got going on in his life? He's going to destroy his own life. When is it going to click for you that he was the problem and that his life is going to be a reflection of that? And I know these things take time. So it's kind of hard, when you're living it, because it's not like an overnight thing where that person instantly gets their karma or everything crashes and burns for them right away. It usually happens in a process, just like your healing journey, right? And so you'll be sitting there thinking that nothing's happening, that he's not getting, everything that he should be getting for the shit that he put you through. But I'm telling you, in divine timing, all of that shit is going to come crashing and burning. Everything that he caught himself doing to you, baby, Wait until that spin the block arrives and he finds himself in the same position, the same mental prison, going through the same shit that he tried to drag you through forever. It don't be no fun. Okay. And that's when they be trying to spin back on you and be like, oh, well, can we talk? Or, I really did love you and I'm so sorry. Or I just wanted to see how you were doing. Fuck that. You don't want to see how I'm doing. You want to come fuck my life up again. Okay. And some of them, they'll leave you alone, which to me, that's better. I know a lot of my sisters be waiting for them to come back and apologize and all that. I wouldn't even sit around anticipating an apology. He's a loser. The chances of him taking accountability and seeing where he went wrong and seeing how his actions affected you are extremely low. So I wouldn't even wait on this apology. It may never come. Okay. And a lot of times your apology is your brand new life. The fact that you get to step into a brand new chapter and never have to deal with that man again. And on top of that, you're getting everything that you've ever desired. To me, that is the apology of a lifetime. A loser ain't never got to come say sorry to me because his sorry ass is living in his sorry life. And on top of that, life has rewarded me for my sacrifices. You get what I'm saying? So you gonna level up. You gonna see all of these changes happening right in front of your own eyes. And on top of that, you know that person is now living in their own misery. So this is where you never look back, sisters. And I mean it. Like you can never look back or go back to that sunken place that showed you just how dark it was in the first place. He's going to live in his own misery, right? He's going to be in those same shadows that he tried to keep you trapped in. But the difference is you are no longer stuck there with him. Okay, you get to rebrand your life completely and say, you know what? What do I want? Do I want somebody who's going to keep me trapped in my head, or do I want somebody who's going to provide for me, who's going to make my life easier, who's going to add to my happiness and fulfillment? Okay, because I'm telling you, love was never meant to be hard. And it's that simple. I wish I could just say that to everybody and like they would get it. But, I'd be needing to go into more detail. But love was never meant to keep you in this mental prison, in this continuous cycle of abuse. So that's how you know it was never even about the love. Okay. And looking back and going back to see what's there is like a waste of your time. You're going to be taking steps back on your journey. All of the progress that you've made, everything that you've done to heal and rebuild yourself is going to be canceled out because you wanted to go back and see what was there. You already know what was there, sister. You remember what it was like being there, right? You remember how much that person went out of their way to manipulate you, to deceive you, to harm you. And so it's like, it ain't shit there for you, sister. I would never look back, okay? And I just want you to see this as being in your car and that person is in your rearview mirror. You have to promise yourselves, sisters, I am never looking back. Okay, it's not even an option because when I was back there with him, I remember what it was like. I don't care how much I miss this man. I don't care how much I love this man. I remember what it was like to be attached to him in the first place. Okay, so this is where we throw in the towel and we be like, look, I have all of the evidence that I need. And on top of that, I'm going to disappear out of his life and crush his ego forever because he thought I was going to be here serving him indefinitely. He thought I really cared that much. He thought I loved him enough that I was going to sacrifice my own sanity for the rest of my life just to keep him around. So you want to crush his ego? Stand on business. Walk away and really mean it. And they're never expecting that, sisters. They're never expecting you to finally pull the plug and say, you know what? You can keep it. And this mind fucks them. Like it does something to them on a cellular level. They are never expecting you to really be done with them. And then on top of that, to never look back. You gonna crush that man's ego because you were willing to drop him like it was hot. He ain't never had a woman in his life do that to him before. He's probably used to women feeding his ego and validating him and making him feel special. You gonna be the first woman to say, you know what? You got it. I could care less. And that is what eats them up inside. Okay. And I love that. I'm so sorry. I love having to watch somebody suffer in the same shit that they thought I was going to be in forever. I'm telling you, sis, that little ego going to be hurting because there hasn't yet to be a woman that came up off that man and was like, look, you're not that special. I can do better. If I wanted better, I can go out here and get better. And they're never expecting you to do that. So when you take these steps and you move with intention and you're strategic about your exit from that man's life, baby, He gonna think about you indefinitely. I promise you, because a lot of men never expect this. Most women are chasing and begging and trying to save the relationship. We are natural nurturers, okay? This is what we desire to do. We be trying to fix and heal and change losers when it's like, that was never our job, okay? Never. And I'm not saying that you wouldn't heal or nurture somebody in a relationship naturally, but it's completely different when you trying to help somebody who's destroying you in the process of you trying to love on them. You can love men. I almost said love losers. Oh, hell no. You can love your man, but it's completely different when that man is taking you down to the depths of his hell in the process of you trying to love him. Fuck that. Let him have everything that he thought he wanted. Let him have the freedom, the bachelor life or whatever else he thinks is so amazing. When you finally exit and you say you got it, that is when it's going to click for him. And that little ego going to be sore for the rest of his life. And I could care less. He deserves it, sister. Because remember, when it was you, when he was crushing your feelings and hurting you back to back to back, it was all fun and games. But now that he's in that same position and it's indefinite, he's not going to enjoy it. Another train confirmation. Okay, so you got this, sisters. If you really want to crush that man's ego, walk away from him. Come up off him and be like, okay, I can do better. I'm not going to ask any questions. I could care less what you have going on. You could go have as many girlfriends as you want now. You can have as many things as you want out there. I could care less. You are a free man. And when you give him that freedom, that is when he going to sit back and be like, oh man, I think I might have made the wrong decision. I really did love that girl. Oh my gosh, she's gone forever. And he's damn right. You're never going to go back and put yourself in the same position that he tried to keep you trapped in forever. He will never hear from you again. And that will be his karma. Literally, he will have to sit there in his head and think about everything that he did to destroy you. But now the shoe's going to be on the other foot. You're going to be thriving. You're going to be out in the world chasing your dreams, leveling up, just living your best life. And that's when he's going to be sitting there with that poor, sorry ass ego of his and wondering what he could have done to fix that before you walked away forever. Okay, so no remorse. But I love you so much, sisters. Let me know if this resonated with you in the chat. And I cannot wait to see you back here for the next episode of the podcast. Love you, sisters. Bye.